Today I feel like thus far I've been what's the word I'm looking for? Productive at at a really good pace. Hold on, my orange juice that I brought over here, the bottle because it's empty now, fell on the ground. I came over to my sister's house to get cardboard. My mother has spare cardboard. I'm gonna have to use it because I did in fact start to widen the pathway on the side garden. Um, I did a lot of things. I dug up a lot of the grass. Um, I've kind of trenched um, a line between the plants that are there. There was a lot of grass growing beneath the yarrow, and the yarrow is about to flower also. I moved the 3 lilies, and so I dug the lilies up, and I could see a bulb at the end. I didn't, but there were roots along the stem. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. They look like they need to get watered. It's not a really hot day, I think, or in the 60s today, but we're going back up to the high 70s and 80s. So I want to get as much done as I can soon. I want to plant up some stuff. I want to plant up the rosemary. I moved the mums that were in the side. I don't have a name for it. The bed that has the trellis with the wisteria and whatnot. I moved the mums I had moved to the raised bed there, along the mum border. So all my mums are in one place now. There was some more gladiolus that I moved again right behind where the gladiolus by the wisteria trellis is. There's something else besides. I think there's something else besides the yarrow that's flowering. I don't know. And so I don't super yet have something I really want to put where I've dug up the border in front of where the Artemisia were. But I'll find something, I'm sure. Yeah. All right, so 1 and 2 I added. That one was the end previously. I think this was 3. Yeah, 3. And this small one is 4. I also moved these 2 back. They were jutting out a bit too much for my line. For my taste, there's not like a super straight line here because it's a curve. It's a line against the curve. And then the line is not even straight. But close enough to my eye, so it's not like a super jutting out thing. So now all mums are here. Any future mums will just get placed here. Right? And so I did move the pink dianthus I had by the tall red perennial dianthus, and it's right there between the 2. And I'm like, oh, I should move the red dianthus here because then I can have more red dianthus over here, period. But that one's perennial and it's really tall, and all these are annuals that perennialized. So these don't get too tall. So one, the height will kind of be off unless I get more of the other colors and spread out that way. But then also, I did at some point have perennial dianthus up in this bed, and they didn't do well. I think I had 2 red perennial dianthus, and they died. So pretty much up here, maybe for the sun, I don't know. So I don't really have named perennial dianthus. Again, it's not a super hot day today, but I should be watering these plants later on today at some point. They look like they need it. Up here, again, at this point, it's just a lot of weeds, and besides things that I'm expecting to come back, like the Montauk daisy that's doing great. I don't know if that's live or not. The lemongrass, the elephant ear that should be alive, the 3 peonies. I don't even know if I want to put them here or over there on that side. And I still don't even know where, if I want to put things on that side, how that's going to work. Because it's going to be either a lot of like mulch and whatnot. So I don't know. I do see what probably is already a marigold. So I will be moving the marigolds around the same way I moved around these gladiolus. Yeah, there's not any new buds yet. I think the clematis is just putting out new growth. Yeah. The pomegranate looking fantastic. Zinnias popping up. I know the ones I have in the greenhouse, dog shed greenhouse. I think they're doing great probably. So I'll have to check on those. As we walk towards the that revamped back area over here, the two mully grasses are farther up. So this whole area is a lot bigger, right? I moved the lineup that was back there next to where it was back, so you can see that we have that whole front area, and then behind that would be walk. So if we're talking about a possible gazebo, would go right there, and then I just have planted around it different plants, right? So that's where we're at right now. I did plant these. I did move these, and it did rain that same day, like a heavy rain. So I think we're due for another rain or two. There are these wecks still left. I went up to the front of the property today, and I was trying to clear something out, and I got bit up by ants. I'm reminded by that because there's a bunch of ants there, and I think those are red ants. The ones that were on me were smaller and black, but they bit me up, and it hurt. They didn't bite me up to the point of welt. They bit me up to the point of itch and annoyance. I see little buds forming, and I think, well, this plant is taller. It's already taller than it was last year, or it's already reaching taller heights than it did last year. But I got it off of the strength of the picture on the tag, and I think moving forward, I'm looking for big blooms. Lovely as this plant is, I love it. It's great. Unless, of course, maybe that the size of the bloom will depend on age and how well I feed it. I have to look into that. But I'm looking for big blooms that can be seen from a distance. Yeah. God, the transplant worked. Look at this girl. Okay. We've got growth here. Growth there. Okay. I'm not sure why we have a mini pond there, but I don't mind. That would be nice to make like little ponds here. And you know what? But there's bugs and insects. I still don't mind that though. I still don't mind the idea. So, and again, just so you see, like, I was, oh my gosh, the trees are so tall. I feel like those trees back there didn't grow that well but last year, and now they grew better this year. I don't know. I don't mind. I don't know though. So, and I don't know if I'm gonna try and pull this up today or another day, but I want to make this as circular as possible. But I see some. No, this is a weed. This area, the whole point of this whole area was kind of to cover up the bareness of this area. There's a lot of tree. There still are a lot of dead tree stumps. Oh, that's not a tree stump though. That's like a Lespedeza. But the idea is a circle, because this area is very bare compared to most of the drain field. This area is very bare, nothing really growing. So all the weeds, and maybe some compost here and there, whatever, and then it'll be a nice, like, let me see, like maybe 2 to 3 foot high in spots border. And I don't know if maybe there'll be like a shallower rooting tree in the middle, or like a fountain, anyway, something very nice and pretty, especially if there's a gazebo over here. Oh my gosh, I have dreams and never enough money. Isn't that the story of life? Isn't that the story of life when you're not someone born into wealth? There's not much for me to super weed over here right now, which is great for me. I do see some things I could weed, like this, if I wanted to. I did prune this camellia at some point. Looks like it did flower. Looks like I missed it. Okay. This one over here that's now completely in shade, which I feel like camellias are apparently supposed to be okay in shade. I don't know. But also, I guess these are like winter bloomers or like late fall bloomers, so maybe that shouldn't affect it so much. There's a lot of oaks, small oaks growing. I assume they're gonna thin themselves. I don't know. Am I supposed to thin them? Oh, look at this, picturesque. Look at this shade here. Look how it just dips. I love that. I love that for me. And then also, this makes it better to pick. Oh, this is not the cherry. My bad. It looks like the cherry though, but it's not the cherry. That's the cherry. This is another oak. I love it. I love it. And I forget which oaks are which. It's just either white or black. One of the Google ones said it was black, but I don't know that we have black oak here. But yeah. All right, so a little bit of change here. There was a big, like, upright stick growing in the middle of the abelia, and I'm like, oh, is this a weed? And I started breaking it off. And eventually I said, no, it's not a weed, it's just an abelia that's just only growing at the bottom. So I did break it off, and there is right here, I guess an open wound, whatever you want to call it. But I just stuck it in there. And, that would be nice to have a abelia hedge. We do have these other ones here. I don't know how well these are growing. They seem to be growing, though. I think I would like to repot this hydrangea. Look at the opuntia, though. So I think this is Eastern opuntia. Ugh. But they have really nice yellow flowers, so I'm not necessarily in a rush to move it. Last year it didn't super flower, but it'd be great if I could have it in a pot and it could just flower there. I did push this back a bit more, so it's a bit more open. That back, there was a back stem there, doesn't seem to have grown, so that's fine. It'll have these 3 big areas, and it looks forcibly airy. So hopefully that it decides to take a cue and grow this way and not push back. I don't have to get everything done at once, especially since I don't have anything, all of everything to replace and plant up, right? So this, that is one, that is 2. This one and this one I moved from over there. So now I have 1, again, assuming nothing comes up. Because if something comes up, I'm probably just going to move it over here regardless. I have my main lily patch here, my hydrangea, my delphiniums, my pretty pink primrose, showy pink primrose that I'm going to stay on top of weeding very well. And it looks like it's getting ready to flower. Love that for me. Yeah, so there's a bunch of it all over the place in this little square. I think that makes it easier for me to stay on top of. Oh, I'm like, where are the other bricks? My mother took them. But she used them for something that was needed, so. Okay. So anyway, I moved the lily that was here. And now that I moved the lily, I moved the stick that was back here. I'm widening this. I like the idea of it being wider if I want to put a bigger trellis, if I want to move something. So now this whole area actually is, once again, free space. Will this be a tree? Will I eventually get another, like if I got another one of those and I could put it here and then it'd be flanked, that would be nice. But I don't know that I'm going to ever see another one of those for 75% off, at least not this early on in the season. Very doubtful. Oh my gosh, just fly. At least not, especially not that tall. So, yeah. Do I need to take off this planter thing here at this point? Because it might be harder to do later on. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah. Okay, so where's the others? Oh, here's one. And here's one. Take it off. Okay, I need more over here, obviously. I would like to have more dianthus and more sweet William. So things are touching and they look more like, ooh. Well, okay. Anyway, these probably need more water and or mulch. La la la. The story of my life. La la la. I made it wider. I'd say, let's see where it is. I'd say like at least 1.5 feet. Because this is where the previous, so it was here to there. So let's see how many of my feet. Yeah, I'd say like 1.5 to 2 feet is how it's that much wider over here, which is great. And so I can get other things over here. Maybe this season I'll put sunflowers over here. That might be nice. But when they turn like every day, I don't know. Like some of the big sunflowers, I don't know. And then biggest change over here, like I said, I moved. I dug up everything on this side. I didn't dug everything on this side. I'm sorry, that's a lie. I got as much of the grass that was going up there and moved it over here and eventually back there. And I tried to plant some throughout, whatever. I prefer it just die down because there's still grass regardless. My idea now is just to get a lot of cardboard and for the short term and cover this. I also, this whole area, I dug up, but this side in front of the things, I just dug up this way. This side, same as this side, I'm just going to try and take as much as the rest as I can out, and then cover it with cardboard. I don't have a lot of pavers over here, but I do have some of these more solid pavers, so I'll try and use those. I might have to also put that into play over here somewhere. The shots of daisies are really coming in, especially that big one. Like I said, flowers. Okay, this one is also, I saw a bud also. Where is it? Let's see. Here we go. Right? So, and here's the, like I said, I only really see 3 of the Dusty Miller. So this one already has some at the base. This one and this one. I don't know about this, and I don't know about this. This one feels dead. I think this one is dead. I don't want to move that because that one's doing the best, actually. So, regardless, if I find my way to some of those cheap packs of annuals at the Home Depot, I'm gonna plant her up. I need to stay weeded. I need to stay weeding this area because I want this other yarrow to really take. Right? Yeah. So, here's one, two, big old 3, 4, 5 and 6 are gone, obviously. But 1 and 2 of the yarrow are budding up, so that's nice. So I'm gonna do other things. I think I'll come back with an update at the end. All right, so widened, super wide. Love that, actually, wide enough to fit the gorilla. Well, that was not a goal. I have this here. I want to put it somewhere where it's going to keep grass out. I was going to put it on that curve, but maybe I'm going to put it on this curve. And I might do that. But on the other side, it's going to be hot. It's going to reflect. It's going to make things grow. I don't know. I don't know yet. So I'm going to do that. Then I think I'm just going to plant some things up with the rest of the soil, whether that's seeds or transplants and whatnot. So, yeah. I got a lot of cardboard here. What I really need are pavers. These cardboard will disintegrate and enrich the soil, unfortunately. And what I would like as soon as possible are some pavers. I did try and make this more square so that maybe more pavers can fit better, as opposed to big curves. It could just be like square and rectangles as I need, right? So, yeah, I have those big squares. I need a good amount more, obviously. But I think this makes a lot more sense. I want to clear up those pine cones. I don't know what to do with them. All the pine cones I use as mulch, I don't know what to do with them because that's also going to be a walkway. It's going to go from where the Shasta daisy is across behind the roses is the idea, and also curving around this island here. So that's going to be one. And then obviously this. I don't have any other ideas for any harder scaped pathways around here. I really just have to try and weed this bed or crowd it out because there's things underneath the rose and the artemisia, but you don't see them because the 2 grow big respectively. This dianthus, there is mulch. I don't want to claim other people's mulch. I just have to wait till I get mulch or I get plants to, again, plant really close. I don't know what I want here. At some point I did think, a tree would be nice here. I don't necessarily think that anymore. I like the idea of if I'm over here I can see unencumbered. But a nice shrub would be okay. But also some annuals over here would be nice, or even perennials over here would be nice. So, all right. So, like I said, for the most part, I dug a trench. I pulled out a lot of weed roots that were going underneath, and I'm probably going to have to be doing that continually moving forward. But kind of like in the front, we've got an angle. Hopefully any roots that try and grow get burnt by the sun from over here to over there. This, I think, probably makes it a lot easier for me to just pull out things as opposed to them being part of a big mass. Maybe they'll be individual here. I did try and everything I mounted up and pulled over here, I did move this around, and everything put over here, I scraped down. And so we have grass and weeds over here, and the soil is hopefully just going to redistribute itself um, with coming rains and winds and whatnot. This looks a lot cleaner to me. I love that the walkway is a lot wider. I'm probably going to be adding more cardboard. I already went and got this white piece. There's a couple of parts, especially by the edges, that the soil isn't, there's holes because I was digging on either side. When I put this here, I backfilled on this side. So over here, there's still like little holes or whatever, but again, weeding. I would like to fill it up this way to buttress it up on this side as well. But again, not a super urgent thing. So more cardboard, especially here. This is the middle section. I'm gonna get one now. Yeah, exciting things, exciting times. I don't know if that needs to be straighter or not. Maybe a little straighter. So in my mind, though I know the road is a curve, very visible, and I should just know how it's a curve. I like curves. In my mind, this is a very straight triangle, though clearly it's not in terms of how it's marked out and shaped. And I don't know by what I was going off of. Maybe when I boarded it up here, didn't have much planted over there, but I do over there now. So there's the end of planting over here. There's like a hole, actually this, to make it even. But I don't know that I want things even from a given angle. I think I would like things given even to my eye. So to my eye, actually, I think probably closer over here is where this would end. But at least on this angle. On the other side, that probably wouldn't be the case because, again, I have plants going up to like around here, and this looks like right here, actually, to my eye. Again, angles and whatnot. So, yeah, a lot of green over here. Weedage could happen. I don't know that I should move the osmanthus, or I don't know that I should not move the osmanthus now because we're still like early spring. We haven't hit those heavy temperatures yet. I could check the weather and see. I don't need this marker here. We have the tomato cage. So I'm going to put this on the path to hold down some cardboard. I don't want things flying away. Actually, that could go at an angle maybe. That needs... Didn't I have something overlapping here? More cardboard here. Just the one here. Oh my god. I truly don't know what's going on with this. There's no roots, but leaves are growing. So we're just going to put it in and hope. I did put up... Only 2 of the rosemary at this point have roots, so I potted them up. Old Ruiners pots. Some of this... That one is especially brittle, but it's fine. We're using it. At least one reuse is the ideal thing, right? And then here's what's growing at the base of the Meyer lemon. It's growing pretty thick. I'm thinking it's just a Meyer lemon. As I said, I'm hoping and I'm thinking. Okay? And then my mother also decided to sprinkle a bunch of pumpkin seeds in this bed. She might have sprinkled some other stuff here, but there are a bunch growing. And I assume again that they will thin themselves out. When she can't, or when I can, I will weed this bed for her. There's a lot of grass. I'm not going to do super much today, but this doesn't need to be here. We have other patches of what do you call this? Of the purple passion vine. So they come up super easy every year. Not really something I'm worried about not being here, realistically. Just this grass, but the grass can go away with the right amount of mulch, or it can be suppressed real well with the right amount of mulch, I should say. And then here we're just looking at the hardy bananas. This, they're getting taller and taller every year, not getting super crazy. I don't know if these are fruiting. I don't know that these are fruiting or these are just ornamental. I imagine they're just ornamental because they never sell them with the fruit trees. So I have other basil seeds. I I'm gonna try and stagger plant. I'm gonna try and be planting always for the rest of the season. What I really want, and I don't have, funnily enough, are coleus seeds. And I say funnily enough because I was not necessarily, I was pretty much, I had sworn them off in my mind last year. And I'm like, they did so well though, and they fill up a lot of space real quick. And so I'd like some coleus seeds. They grow relatively easy. Yeah. And so anyway, for now, I've planted up the 2 rosemary, the 1 hydrangea. Hopefully it doesn't die now. But I have some corn and some wax bean. Now the wax bean is expired, so I'm just gonna plant up a good amount here, and or big thing of soil, plant them all up, see what takes and what doesn't. I think they might take so. And then the corn expired last year, or it was packaged for sell by 12/24. So I guess it's fine for this year. Um, Actually, there might be another one that I should use. That's also a bantam. I think the other one is an early bantam. I think they both expire. I'm gonna ask my mother which one she wants. And when I say which one she wants, I mean which one she might want to plant for herself. She might want me to plant them up for her now also, but I don't know. They're talking about thinning things. And in my mind, I thought the idea was for maybe a certain variety that you put 3 in a hole and then you're good to go. But this is talking about thin them to one plant. Every 4 inches tall. Okay. All right. I have a cell of 12. I think I'm just going to put some in there. Literally, when I was going in the door, I'm like, why do I need to ask for anything then? There's more than 12 in here. If I'm just going to plant 12 now, I can plant 12 later if I want. Again, successive planting, right? Oh, no. Okay, corn. This is the Golden Cross Bantam Hybrid 12. Do I plant 2 in each? I'm gonna plant 2 in each cell. I think I have enough for 2. Girl, 1, 2. Girl, I 1, 2. Let me save myself some time and plant 2 in each cell in case one does not germinate, or in case more than one does not germinate. Both don't germinate. Okay, 1, 2. Right. 1, 2, 2. Need 3 more. 1, 2. 1, 2. this whole thing in here because their DSK expired. So this is the Cherokee wax, the yellow bush. Okay. Whoa, these are not even that many here. That's great. That's great. Hold that for me. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 16. Fantastic. I thought it was going to be like a bunch of here. Okay, fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5, I guess, up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not how that works. Where did I get 5? 5 of. Okay. 1, 2, 4. Okay, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now. Okay, so it's 5, 6, and what? Oh, 5, 5, and 6. Okay, I don't know. I don't know math right now. Anyway, I think these will grow. The beans don't feel super dry, so I think they'll grow. It says seed germination in 12. I'm gonna keep this inside. I was gonna put this in there, but I'm gonna keep this inside. Hey. I'm nothing if not someone to reuse things before I put them in the as many times as I can before they go to the landfill. Unfortunately, because plastic and the recycling scheme set up by companies. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so my beans. This is exciting. I saw someone trellising their beans. I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna have to trellis beans if I grow beans? That might be also part of the reason why I'm like, oh, beans, because we have other vegetables, but also like we have a lot of vegetables, but I wouldn't necessarily care to grow any of them to eat. Like if we grow beans, I could just stock up on beans, beans. You know, have a whole summer full of beans. Right? The corn. Okay, this is exciting. If let's say if at least half of these germinate, which I imagine that at least half will. One, I'm gonna have to thin them. They said when it's 4. So if the idea is to thin them, I'll let them grow to 4 inches in the cells. I know one of our neighbors said around here that they don't do so well in like raised beds corn, and corn in general around here is kind of hard to grow, but essentially they have to go in the ground. So I'm going to have them going by my little vegetable garden area. I'm going to go get some water to water all this. I think that's it for today. I think I need an extra hand, or at least I need to maybe inventory what I have on hand, because I think my next step is putting up the tall piece. Well, I don't know, because I feel like I need a piece back here to connect. What? I need to game this out more. Okay, Mr. Lizard. Okay, I found something, and it actually fits kind of perfect right under where this thing currently is. And that way it'll allow me, because the window won't go the full length anyway. That kind of solves my problem of like where I'm putting the window. So I need to connect these two pieces. I have to see if I can find the what do you call this? The screw to do this today. I don't know if I'm going to replace this with another 8-foot piece. That might be what I have to do. But this being here is a lot of progression already. Just visual and planning. Yeah, vertical piece. So I'm gonna. Ooh, don't fall on me. How rude. So yeah, I don't know where. I mean, everything's expanded now. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I'm gonna connected like this a couple ways. And then I guess we can continue on here and there. Yeah? So my mother has this tree ring. Granted, I had the tree ring first. That made that one. My mother made another one over here, closer to, I think, a bunch of vegetables she was growing at the time, that have since either moved or whatever. She has, okay, so this is her English lemon. I don't know if it's that it's flowering because it's more stressed over here. I thought I also had English lavender. I think maybe I do, but mine haven't flowered. Is it because mine are happy where they are? How pretty. She has a bunch of gladiolus that are coming up. That might be pokeweed. It's probably pokeweed. I think what I thought was Thai basil was pokeweed. Another lavender there. I'm not sure what these are. These might be oregano. She should have some salvias. Yeah. I'm over here picking up garbage where I remember there being some. At this point, it's mostly over here anyway. It's mostly old tape from cardboard as I moved things up and some had not broken down, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, is this a hole? Anyway, I just wanted to point this out because you may or may not recall that this got pruned back to one branch this way and two this way. And look how full it is. I love that for me. So now it's just a matter of collecting some garbage and watering some plants and putting them in places. I'm going to put a couple of these plants in the old IKEA greenhouse. There's a lot of water in the doghouse greenhouse. And it might rain again soon. The zinnias are coming up, no issue. The snapdragons, I don't know if they're taking a turn, so I think I might need to take them out. And so there might be space in there. I need to see about that. I can feel as I open this up and it radiates inward that in here is hotter than outside. What's the temperature in here? It's registering at 90 DK. Maybe that's why the sweet peas. I don't know. I don't know if the basil should be at something that hot. You see, there's a lot of water here. So I'm going to leave this cool for the time being. I'm going to see if I can just put everything in here, displace things that way. Yeah. It's almost going to be time for the zinnias to come out anyway. And yeah, I think some of these snapdragons are taking a turn. So what we're going to do, I guess, is take them out. Yikes. You know, because other days when it's really hot, or when it was really hot, this water would evaporate up. But now they're back in the 60s. All right, I'm feeling like the sweet peas, excuse me, not the sweet peas, the snapdragons should have been farther along, and they're not. One. The zinnias, no problem, girlies. I'm just impatient, and I probably could have done, but it was a late night thing, blah, blah, blah. You know, so, yeah. The zinnias are great. I think that, you know, the basil, I feel like it should have popped up by now. I feel like it's been at least a week since I did all that. So I might have to just later on come out with the packet and just pop, 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 pop. I do have more snapdragons. You know, I don't want this just to be a zinnia landscape, but if it must, hopefully it does not have to, but, you know, or maybe this will be the year I focus a lot on vegetables. Yeah. I know I gave a quick glance because now it's open on three sides. So there's a breeze. I know it dropped down the temperature inside precipitously. So let's see. It was at 90 before. Now it's at 70. That's about a little bit warmer than the temperature, I think, outside, the actual temperature. So anyway, I got this to clean the greenhouse. Let's go do that. This bottom is so rusted. Get away. I'm just trying to get the dust off. I'm not even trying to do much here. Let me see. Which one will go on here? This one? This? I think that. Let me see. No, that might be the right size. Can either fit this and the three and the rosemary and the hydrangea, or I think it might have to be alone. No, you know what? The whole thing was I was going to try and put. Anyway, I'm still getting this ready. So, ooh, girl, she's cracking. She's aging. She's doing her best, but her best is not easy. And she's covered in. Oh, wow. You know what? There was water behind me in this tray. Every day, I'm always tipping over water that's collected, and that's pooling because we don't want mosquitoes to continue their existence. We don't. That's still too much. I think, was it like a capful? And they can breed. Wow, this is very vintage at this point. Hello? I can't pull it up? It's stuck? Ooh. Okay, we're just gonna leave it and wipe it down. You know, we'll keep it going as long as we can. Maybe at some point, uh, the panes become part of the greenhouse, the larger greenhouse. Who knows? Oof. Greenness. Yeah. Why would I waste water? Not even waste. Why would I not put it on there? Because it's got pollen? That's got nothing to do with beans germinating. Not even sure I can put the sweet peas in here. I keep calling sweet peas the snapdragons. I think they're the tray is too big. Girl, I've been doing this over the rusted thing. Whoa. Maybe the beans should go in here because I feel like the corn can handle hotter temperatures. Maybe I need to open another hole. What I should have been doing is airing out the dog shed greenhouse and the regular. Oh well, here we are. I was also leaving all that water in because, well, it rained and I forgot about. It rained recently and I forgot to drain it out. One, but also I've been used to leaving it in there because of the temperature, the high temperature we've been experiencing, and that we're going to be somewhat approaching in the coming days again. Oh, this one is sprayed. Yes. Okay, we'll still clean it in the back just because. Just because. Just because. If I were you, I'd better watch out. No, things like that. When was the last time you did anything? Not for me or anyone else. Just because. I don't think I'll anytime soon be getting another one of these because one, IKEA prices are now super wild. Um, Two, I'm not in my houseplant phase anymore. Three, this was like a gift, so I never got it for myself anyway. To begin with. Um, but also, and then four, maybe most importantly, I see how it is. It's not made for the outdoors. This is completely for the indoors. So yeah. I mean, arguably, maybe it's not made for the indoors either. Or maybe I should have been taking a lot better. Like, ooh, I should paint this every year. Coat it with something. Blah blah blah. Didn't fit. Hello. Right. Okay. Yeah, she's looking clean. She's looking relatively clean. Yeah. All right. Now to figure out what's going where. So I'm very confused about that. Oh, but also let me water this plants first. Okay, so here goes the hydrangea. Because I can. It's called the water cycle. Okay, here's one. All right. One of the rosemary. Okay, Miss Ma'am, fizzle up. Like, what are you doing? Truly. I'm gonna have to go back and water that hydrangea because I see how dry the soil was or is. Ow, 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 my foot. Oh my god, my foot. And this is why it's great to have tags in or some type of record, okay? Because these are petunias. Those are snapdragons. I was supposed to put them both out, which maybe I could. The petunias are real clustered. I do have, there is a two-tier shelf that I might bring in here. When I cleaned this area back here, over here there was a portion of wire, and I think I had it out a little farther in. I think the other day my mother used the wire, so now it's widened the space, which is great, and I meant to do that anyway. I don't mean to just leave this here long term, but now it means a lot more walking space, which will allow me to eventually work on whatever foundation, whatever here, whether that's me pouring concrete and then fitting something in on top of that. So or putting clay, blah 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 blah. I feel like a little quick concrete pour might be simpler, or even just me stuffing things and then putting concrete over it, like a quick, covering, whatever the heck. Yeah, I'm real excited to use this eventually. I did go inside and look for the I had the drill. I had the drill with the battery. I don't know where the drill bit is. Okay. You want in? That's cool with me. Okay. All right. Two of the things on the bottom are missing, so I shimmed it up as much as I could with two other pieces of wood. I'm gonna put I guess the snapdragon should go on top, maybe. I don't even know. I don't even know. We're gonna figure it out. All right, it's looking real neat. Everything fits in here. In fact, I'm really at this point just questioning whether or not I want to put the hydrangea in here. Now, the top shelf does have a dip, and I put the zinnias in there. I don't know why, in my mind, if I put the snapdragons in there, one, it was going to be a mess because the snapdragons are in one tray as opposed to the two trays. But for whatever reason, in my mind, that was going to shade out the petunias. I don't know. So this is westerly light. Over here is easterly southern light. If I could, I gotta check that the snapdragons fit in the greenhouse, another one, because I'll put them in another one if they do. I think before I do anything else, which it's almost 6, which means I have to get started on the watering. I don't want to be out here late today. Before I do anything else, I'm gonna plant some more stuff. I'm gonna see if we have. I'm gonna see if we have sunflowers, and I want to plant some basil. I don't know where my mind's at, because I was like, wait a minute, I'm confused. Why are there fruits growing on this plum when it didn't flower? And I'm like, how does that work? Because I see the sand plum is fruiting, but I remember the sand plum flowering. So how does this plum have fruits on it? And I'm like, what were those white things? Those were flowers. What are you even thinking? Anyway, I brought out 3 packs of things. I brought out hot peppers, cayenne long slim red, Genovese, basil, and a sweet bell pepper. Now, my mother bought a bunch of starts for peppers. Do I need to start peppers? Not really. Not really. In fact, I could sell these directly. The peppers. I don't think it will. I could try. But I don't need to, because a lot is grown and people don't eat necessarily peppers and creams like that, but I enjoyed growing pepper when I had a pepper. So I would like to have like 1 or 2 plants, just small plants. I'm not going to, dump the whole pack, but a couple plants of each would be nice. And I can thin these, so I can just plant a couple of them in one pot. I'm going to plant a lot of basil, because the basil grows really fast. So I'm just going to put them in pots, because now I cleaned the greenhouse and I have the space and nothing to plant in it. It's like, let me make use of the time. So I've put a bunch of Genovese seeds in there, and I've filled these up with soil. I have 2 of the 4-packs and one. I don't know why I thought it was a 6-pack. It's an 8-pack. Anyway, that was gonna be my divide. Okay. Anyway, so I'll have 8 of each if they each germinate. Let me go put that in now. All right. So I've only put 1 in each of these cells. I poured out an extra 3, and I planted them among the mums. We'll see if they come up. Why not? And these are the cayenne. I did fold and put in my pocket. These are the. What's the basil? This is the cayenne long slim red, Spanish variety. Okay, so I'm gonna cover it up now then. All right, this is the sweet bell mix. I'm gonna cover those up as well. And now I'm like, do I have to put it in here? No, I could also put it in the same greenhouse I put everything else in. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't. And so I'm gonna put the what do you call this? The little middle greenhouse over here, where it will get morning sun and I guess less. I guess it looks like it's gonna be shaded partially from the afternoon sun. Good to know, I guess, for later on, but for now. And this one is not as insulated as the other one, I don't think. There's a lot of gaps here. So I'm going to put the things I think will grow fine, no issue here. Well, more than fine, no issue here. So the hydrangea that was already essentially out is going to go in here. The basil is going to go in here. I did put a shim under this. It wasn't flat. And I thought I had more space. Maybe I would have if I have, I think I could fit one of the, let me see. I could probably fit the 8-pack and a 4-pack here. But I think what I'll do is put one of the 4-packs in here, the 4-packs of the Granbell, and everything else in the other one. Yeah. I think this is great because if it works better in one spot, I'll know in case I decide to grow more later on. Yeah, at least for the one type of pepper. The hot pepper I'm growing all in one shot in the one other spot. So, yeah. All right. So, snapdragons, petunias, zinnias, 3 kinds. Hold on, I just did this. Corn, yellow bush, garden beans, 2 rosemary sprigs, the hot cayenne slims, a 4-pack of the grand bells, and would-be basil. Okay, so I really like this 2-tier thing. I can see the zinnias and, I don't know, relatively easy. When they're done, I think they're probably the first things I'll be planting in ground. Yeah. Using my very accurate foot measure, because my feet oscillate between a size 11 and 12 usually, sometimes a 13, so we're calling my foot a foot. I'm gonna say I need about 30 of the 1x1 foot pavers. It's about 5x6. Maybe I could get away with. Oh, I don't know how that popped up because I don't think I looked for anything in my pocket over here. It must have been on the tip of the pocket. Maybe I could get away with less of them if I have more of these. Regardless. All right. Definitely want to get the dianthus over here. There's some grass invasion happening over here. I gotta get on top of that. Yeah. Maybe the trough attracts things. I don't know. Well, we'll have to stay on top of it. That's just gonna be a regular workout. Oh my gosh. The lower pedalum has never looked so good. Of course, this is like it's past its full year in the ground, right? So, of course, now it does. Yeah. She's looking great. Little flowers. I need the leaves to be super huge, right? They're getting bigger all the time. Fantastic. Super huge. Okay, Miss Primrose Girly. Definitely some on the lilies that got transplanted. Or I guess in general over here. This little lily patch. It should be mostly white lilies. Maybe one of the midnight lilies came up from last year. I don't think so. In my mind, they're all three of them. I think it was three or five of them dead. Yeah. Everything else that came back from being in the ground last year that came back as a perennial, I'm not super gonna water because at this point you've got your roots, aka you. We're not in the crazy heats as of yet, so I just want these lilies to perk up. All right, I have the holes way around the wrong way. So this side little drop, we'll call it, drop garden. Yeah, yeah. This side little drop got a lot shorter today, and that's okay. It saves me space on what to do. I really want to emphasize I need those bricks for the borders because at the very least I don't want the grass feeling empowered in here. I did spread some of the yarrow. Hopefully it grows real fast and soon. I got to figure out if yarrow is something that likes a lot of water or not. I do see a tag there. I'll look at it afterwards. Okay, I don't want to water this too much and erode some of the dirt around things, so let's just water some of those Shastas. Okay. I could also move that stick behind the osmanthus if I want. Something to consider if I want to make it wider, right? I'm gonna move the clematis by the wisteria. Since this wants to stay chock full of water. Serve a purpose. Thank you. In my mind, I'm like, how is this gonna go? Where is this gonna go? La la la. I just mushed it up against the daylily. Ideally, it'd be like right here, but this is like a. Hold on. All right, so I moved it over a bit. I used some of the cardboard around to level up a little more. We've got more clematis coming up from us over here. At this point, it's way too wrapped around the metal trellis for me to. I mean, I guess I could, but like, what's the point? No, it's really there. So I'm just gonna leave this here. Yeah, and then we'll have. That's a bit far out for my liking. It's a bit far out for my liking, but I don't want it to be leaning like this. So it's just gonna have to do. Like I said, if anything. Oh, okay. Again, things fall in my pockets. If anything. If anything decides to grow here, I'll just move it in terms of gladiolus. I like having this little walkway here. Wah, wah, wah. It's a little narrow walkway, but it's my walkway. So, all right. So over here, I think maybe there's a small little clump of sedum here. But besides that, there's nothing else that oh, I'm tipping it back. So nothing here besides this perennial, and I like it here. I like the height of it. But I also like the fact that this essentially blank slate gives me a lot to work with otherwise. So I don't know. The other day I came and told my mother, oh my gosh, something growing. Maybe it's like cilantro or parsley. Not cilantro because we've grown cilantro. I'm thinking it's parsley. And she comes out and she smells it. She rubs it. She's like, it smells like carrot. It looks like carrot. And I'm like, you know what? I did take a bunch of carrot seed head tops and sprayed it and just let them be in this area. So that would make sense. These beds are getting invaded and I need to come and address them soon. Okay, soon. I need to build beds for these. Soon. I just want to see real quick what the yarrow is. If it's the right tag and not the tick seed tag. But I don't necessarily want to step on it. Yarrow. It just says yarrow. Okay. Well, here's hoping for 3 feet. Right? Here's hoping for 3 feet. So